Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy, and we're going to do this 10 card spread. So we'll get those out, and then we'll see what's going on in Cancer energy. We're going to kind of read it from some couple different perspectives because people have free will. Not everybody harnesses high vibe Cancer energy. We all tap into all the zodiac signs, either in a high vibe way, a more worldly way, or a more shadowy way. So some people have hope and faith and belief in love. That's kind of the driving factor for the decisions they make in their life. Some people are more driven by the world, ego, image, indulgence, money, materialism, and themselves. And some people are more shadowy, and it's just to manipulate people and use their emotions manipulatively to get what they want. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story. Listen to your intuition about other people in your life, where they're at in the story, and the truth sets us free. It's just to see the truth of where people are at. You know, life's about learning lessons, and some people have learned some lessons that some other people haven't learned. You know, some people are more mature, some people are more self-disciplined, and we kind of like to hang out with people who are kind of on the same page as us, so let's go see. So I look at the Judgment card. The middle bottom card is the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Judgment card. And then we kind of end with, what is our truth? Have we learned lessons in life to be balanced between our more worldly nature and our hopeful, believing, loving nature? Or are we tipped out of balance and we're still juggling, unwilling to make a decision or choosing our more worldly nature? There will be consequences for our actions. You know, for every action, there's a reaction. You know, we reap what we sow. If we plant seeds of love, we're more likely to grow crops of love. You know, if we sow jealousy and envy and pettiness and jealousy and backstabbing and betraying, odds are, you know, the people who end up sticking in our life are people who do the same thing. So let's go see what's going on in Cancer energy. We start out with the Magician, the Four of Wands, and the Moon card. The people that have learned some lessons in life are trying to manifest their dreams into reality in truth and love in their foundation, and they're listening to their intuition. Then we have the Six of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Wands. High vibe people want to work together with other people in cooperative relationships, in deep, meaningful relationships. And they have to listen to their intuition. The Seven of Swords in high vibe can be that you have a dream and you're listening to your intuition, because there's people in the world, and we all know that, right? We know people who are defensive. In the Knight of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the King of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles, we know there's people out there in the world that would like to be in relationships with us in some way, shape, or form, but they don't really want to do love. They live more from their mind than their heart, and they just might want to juggle us. You know, it would be great to be in a relationship with you, but I don't really want to do love, or I'm mad at someone else who's ignoring my love. I want to get in a relationship with you to juggle you against that other person to try to manipulate that person to get them to do what I want. So some high vibe people have learned that, and they're listening to their intuition about people in their world. People who are defensive to love, who live more from their mind than their heart. People who haven't picked a path yet, because the high vibe people have picked a path. They're doing love. And then in the Seven of Wands, they're standing up for themselves and what they believe in. I am going to move forward in my life, listening to my intuition. And as I do move forward, I am standing up for what I believe in the Knight of Swords, standing up for truth and balance. High vibe Two of Pentacles, high vibe Capricorn energy is I have freed myself from my more immature worldly nature, shadowy Capricorn represented by the devil. We all have our shadow nature. You know? And some people are like, I've learned to love myself and get balance within myself. And now I know I have my more shadowy nature, but I offer myself love and compassion, truth and love. I hold myself accountable. I listen to my intuition, and I maintain balance within myself to not indulge in my more immature, prideful, egotistical, whatever kind of ways of being. Because when I do that, things don't work out the way I want. So the best chance for things working out the way I want them to is for me to align with being someone who walks the talk. And I'm speaking my truth. I'm offering my self-love, and I'm emotionally investing in other people in the world, in my life, who work together with me in this just and fair and balanced way. And the people in my life, I will hold up my sword of truth to those people if they are showing or have shown me that they harness these energies in a shadowy way. We're either being truthful and honest with people and authentic, or we're kind of wearing a false mask, trying to confuse people about the truth of who we are, trying to manipulate people. So, and part of that is being manipulated by the self, our own worldly egoic nature. And we create an illusion. So some high vibe people have dealt with some people who try to manipulate people in relationships, or even to get them into relationships. And then it's to hide the truth of who they are. They hide from judgment. I don't want to take accountability for my actions. I stop right here. I do not harness these energies in a high vibe way. I do not want to be more just and fair. I do not want to get more balance within myself. I do not want to do love. I'm more about myself and these things of the world that I am motivated and inspired to make my life about, because I think those things will make me happy. You either become enlightened to the truth that love is what makes it all worthwhile, or you're still caught up in the illusion. I don't have to do love. I can get hurt doing love. Can I just manipulate people and just indulge in a relationship with them? Can I just hide the truth that I like to live more from my mind than my heart? Can I just manipulate people to get them to do what I want in a relationship? People who are repeating an old pattern, maybe something they learned, needless as they were growing up. Maybe they grew up in families that were more, we've all been deceived and manipulated. We've all been hurt before, but sometimes some people, grow up in families and communities and countries and states where people do make life, and the world kind of tries to convince us to not listen to our intuition, to get caught up in this illusion of the world and repeat that pattern. Make your life about the world. Don't listen to your intuition. Don't shine your authentic light. Don't be authentically yourself. And a lot of people get caught up in the illusion. Some of them might be people who are emotionally shallow and superficial. They might be kind of prideful and egotistical. But they're defensive to making a choice to speak the truth, to act in truth, to be just and fair, to be more balanced. And we've got this dualistic nature within us. We can be more about ourselves, the world. We can be equally out of balance as a loving person where we indulge people in poor behavior. Or we get more balance, love, and truth. The King of Swords is Libra energy, represented by the scales of justice. Love is supposed to be just and fair. People are supposed to treat each other the way they like to be treated. But everybody can have their idea of what they think is just and fair, and the other people have made the free will choice that they're going to maybe harness these energies in a more shadowy way. I'm defensive to having to be more just and fair or be more balanced in a relationship. I either at a stage of my life where I still indulge poor behavior in myself, or I'm indulging poor behavior in others, or I am someone who wants to be indulged in poor behavior. Some people defend people who aren't very loving in their life, who could be bossy and controlling in their life. And, we've all been there. We've all gotten in relationships with people and not wanting to see the truth. We've all been defensive to calling judgment on a job, a friendship, and a relationship. We just have to see the truth that sometimes that's where some people in our life are at. Sometimes we all got to learn lessons the hard way. And there could be some people we wish we could, that would move together with us between adult children, friends, family members. We wish that those people would work together with us and stand up for us and defend us and work together with us in truth and love. But we've all got to learn lessons in life, and that's what the moon card can talk about. People have things kind of hidden in their subconscious that until they work through those things that could be hidden in their subconscious that make them defensive to love, they're probably going to be drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with some people who they are drawn and attracted to because they have some lessons to learn. And it's going to be painful. We've all learned lessons the hard way, and we know how hurtful it can be and how painful it can be. But it's all trying to get us to deal with the truth that we need to learn to love ourselves and stand up for what we believe in and get out of our more codependent energy. When we see people are acting in a shadowy way, we speak our truth on it. And we stand up for what we believe in. And all those life experiences that we go through are trying to get us to get clear that certain ways of behaving and acting within our life and other people acting in relationship with us isn't okay. And I need to love myself enough to stand up for myself. And some people, at different phases of life, we have different lessons to learn. Some people have learned some of those lessons and they're standing up for some of those things. We still have things in our future that other people have already learned lessons about that we haven't. But based on where we are today, everybody's kind of defending how they view life. And we need to see the truth of it. Some people we might feel are being manipulated. Some people are not wanting to see the truth. We can choose to be in denial of the truth, not want to see the truth about ourselves, not want to see the truth about other people, because we love those people. We want them to heal and move forward with us. And, other people, they put in the time, the energy, the effort to try. We can only do so much. We offer people love and encouragement. And if people are still defensive to being held accountable for their actions and speaking the truth and acting in a more just and fair way, well, then we got to call judgment on them. Some of you have already done that, and some people are now doing it. For those of you that already went through that phase of it, now it's kind of to try to transmute the energy to complete the cycle and kind of leave it. So for the people that could have gotten out of something, you're trying to manifest new beginnings with people. And you're listening to your intuition. There might be some people in your life you're working with. And then as you were moving forward, you might have thought, when I was drawn and attracted to certain people, because I had lessons to learn, I could have rejected certain people or not even paid attention to certain people in my life. And maybe there was more loving, just, fair people out there, but because I had lessons to learn, I could have rejected them. And so then we listen to our intuition, and we could be like, wait a minute, is there people I kind of already know, or I've met, or that I work with, or in my community somewhere that really are kind of people that are kind of on the same page as me? And I might, before I move forward any further, I might communicate with those people to see, I'm just looking for people who are more on the same page as me, to be friends with, to work with, to be in a romantic relationship with, assuming you're not in one. And then we reach out to other people in our life to tell them the truth and offer love and say, this is how I'm moving forward. Anybody who wants to move forward with me in this way, in a truthful, just, fair, loving way, you're somebody I'm willing to keep moving forward with in life. Some of those people that we communicate with will move forward with us in this way, and some people will be defensive. Because again, there's just everybody's kind of in this phase of learning lessons within themselves. Are they willing to speak their truth? Maybe there's people in their life they would have to stand up to, or maybe they'd have to stand up to their own shadowy nature of fear or ego or immaturity, Are they willing to do that to move forward to be in this type of relationship or not? Some will, some won't. Because the only people you're going to keep moving forward with are people who are willing to hold themselves accountable to kind of like this next level of life. We go through these phases of life, we learn certain lessons, and we don't care to go back and act like we backtrack 5 years. We went through age 15, 18, 21, 25. We do that throughout our life. It's like, I don't want to go back to being like a 15-year-old. I've learned lessons in life. I've learned ways of getting along with people, a more emotionally mature, self-disciplined, tempered. I've expanded my perception of myself and the world around me. I'm now 25, 35, 45, 55, whatever. If you're still kind of haven't learned some of the life lessons I've learned, that's fine. We know all sorts of people in the world. We can work with them at work. We can socialize with them out in the world. But are you someone I'm going to try to offer getting a more involved relationship with? No, you're a social acquaintance, The people who I'm going to offer love to and work to be in a more invested relationship are the people who are kind of more on the same page as me. Other people are just social acquaintances and people I know. We all know all sorts of different people, and that's okay. We can get along with all sorts of different people in the world. But, the only people that I'm going to have a more involved relationship, a new emotional beginning, and put this work and effort to be in a more established relationship in the 3D world are people who are willing to hold themselves accountable. And there's some people in the world that you could have spoken your truth to, and that's enough to keep them away. Because they know, so I wouldn't be able to manipulate you? I can't use these old tricks that I sometimes use in friendships, workplaces, or relationships? Oh, okay, yeah, you go. I'll hang out with these people. The people that I can maybe manipulate or don't know the truth about me or are still at this stage of life and maturity level or something in relationships, And the same thing can happen even in jobs, sometimes people who are hiring people for jobs even are like, I think I kind of like, you seem more maybe mature or stable or confident or something. I think I like to get the people who maybe aren't as confident and seem a little more wishy-washy, because then I think maybe I can intimidate and control them or something, or they're not a threat to me. They don't challenge me to grow and mature myself, and you might challenge me to kind of grow and mature myself, and I don't want to be with someone who makes me have to be held accountable for my actions, So it's all sorts of different people in the world. And, in the Seven of Swords, we can always be listening to our intuition, but we can't wait forever for people to make a decision. If, sometimes not making a decision is a decision. Again, we can only work with people who are willing to work together with us. So we can be patient for a while. We can extend grace to people, but there comes a point in time, you know, there's these things I want to manifest in my life to get the justice I deserve, and I can't be defensive to moving forward, and I might have to do this work within myself to maybe heal from something else that I went through, and that's fine. Be patient, be understanding with yourself, but just make sure that when you've made an offer to maybe other people in your life and those people aren't reciprocating and communicating with you that they want to work with you, sometimes it is to keep you stuck. I don't want to tell you the truth. I'm hoping maybe you won't love and believe in yourself enough that you'll get caught up in your head about believing in your dreams, and maybe you'll come back and communicate with me some more. And that will kind of communicate to them that you might have more fear or insecurity about moving forward on your own, and that maybe you are in more codependent energy. And if you were, they'd gladly get in a relationship with you. Oh, perfect. So that's why I tell people your truth, offer people truth and love, and then the ball is in their court. They either do this work within themselves and they in turn respond in kind or communicate their truth to you in some regard. But if you've already communicated your truth, it's like, I'm not chasing after people. I've already been there and done that. And so I'm just speaking my truth. The people who are inspired to move forward with me in this way will. The people who don't, I have to assume you're living a wonderful life and you're happy with the life that you're living, then peace be with you. Or I have to assume you might be trying to manipulate me. But people who are motivated and inspired by truth and love, when that's what I offered, if they're not offering that back in return, I don't know if you're living your life high vibe or low vibe. I could have thought you were high vibe, but maybe you're not. I'm just not going to chase after people. I've spoken my truth. I might wait to give people time to work through their own issues about if they're willing, because sometimes it can be people that we could have owed an apology to, or that maybe we just didn't invest much time or energy or effort into in the past or something. Who knows? But it could be a lot of different things. And it can just be just meeting people and getting to know people, wondering if people are on the same page. And if you were to extend an offer to go do something to move the relationship along a little more personally, and they're not receptive to it, it's like, okay, high vibe people don't get in their ego about it. We can be sad. They could have been someone that we would have liked, that we thought, but we all have been there, right? Where we can like people and they don't really think we're more on the same page. People can like us and we're like, I don't really think we're on the same page. You just deal with the truth of it. You don't let it get you down in your shadow nature and beating yourself up. And, we have to deal with the realities of life. Sometimes there's people we want to hang out with or date, and sometimes people want to hang out with and date us. And what is it? It has to be, both people have to be free to get in a relationship, and they both have to kind of have that spark or that interest that makes people want to, between different people they meet, that, I think I would like to hang out with you more as a friend and get to know you more, or you would be someone I want to maybe date. And with other people, we don't feel that way. And we just got to accept the truth of it. So high vibe people are accepting the truth of it. I think you've communicated with people. You're listening to your intuition. And as any time in your life with these different ventures that you might do in your life, when you're ready to go to the next phase of life, that's when you're ready. And you're ready to go back out there to try to find people who are on the same page as you. Now, There is some people in the world, because there always is, there are people in the world that aren't speaking their truth, aren't offering love, because if they don't have to, they don't want to. Well, can I get you to be in a relationship with me and I don't have to do that? Perfect. I'm going to sit back here and I'm going to wait. And for some of those people that are kind of operating in their pride and ego or defensiveness or manipulative ways of being, yeah, they're going to see you move on and become kind of, you're not going to keep offering them another cup of love. And some of those people are going to realize that the only person they ended up kind of deceiving in this situation is themselves. Because some of these people, their intuition was telling them that you were being truthful and honest and just and fair, that you have healed, grown, and matured yourself, that they could have had a deep, meaningful relationship. But because their ego, they weren't willing to listen to their intuition, they got caught up in their head, manipulated by themselves, juggling, I don't know, should I, shouldn't I? And you're going to move on and you're going to find other people to invest your time, energy, and love into. And that will be the consequence of their actions. And hopefully they learn lessons from that life experience and that they learn to get out of their ego. Goodness, if people communicate with me, why am I so defensive and in my head and in my fear and in my insecurity and in my defensiveness? Or why do I only want to be in relationships with people if it seems like they're kind of more fearful or afraid or codependent? Really? Is that the type of person I want to be in a relationship with? Or would I like to be in a relationship with someone who's more balanced? Some people don't want to be. If they're out of balance, they need you to be out of balance, because every relationship has to be balanced. It can be equally out of balance where someone's very loving and giving to someone else and the other person kind of takes and gets indulged in a relationship. And if you're maintaining balance within yourself, the only way, there's some people who would like to be in a relationship with you, would like to manifest a relationship with you secretly, but they know they can't deceive and manipulate you as long as you stay in this energy. Unless you were to tip yourself out of balance and kind of take action more out of pride and ego, fear, insecurity, quit loving and believing in yourself and standing in your truth, well then, yeah, then they could get in a relationship with you. Because you decided that you're willing to indulge in poor behavior in yourself and therefore hang out with other people who indulge themselves in poor behavior, just being whatever, immature, prideful, egotistical, lustful, greedy, bossy, controlling, whatever it is, then they'd gladly be in a relationship with you and even defend being in a relationship with you. So long as you didn't require them to speak the truth, act in truth and love, be more just and fair and balanced, sure. A lot of people in the world be willing to get in a lot of relationships with a lot of people. Just don't make me have to speak the truth, act in truth, act in love, and be just and fair. Yeah, I'll get in a relationship with you. So, since some of the shadowy people or more worldly focused people, and some of those people tried this again to get in a relationship with kind of like a high vibe person who has hope and faith and belief and love, and it works for a while. Sometimes it can work for a long time. It just depends on what you're doing in the relationship. Sometimes, like if you're getting married and having children, you have so many things that you're learning. You can have all these other things that are taking up your time and, kind of keeps your focus. If you're past the age of maybe or not having children, well, you have a lot more time to pay attention to what your person in your relationship is doing or not doing, and kind of have more of your focus on listening to your intuition just about that relationship But some of these people are trying to manipulate another person. And that person, the next people they try to manipulate, trying to confuse them about the truth of who they are, they really like to repeat this certain way of being in a relationship. It's just like people who had some growing and maturing to do that you worked with, and they go get another job, and you're just kind of waiting. Initially the people at the new job are like, oh my gosh, we just love that person. They're doing so great, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, yeah, I don't believe they're really any different than they were at this job. We're just waiting for their more true nature to come out, which is kind of manipulative, bossy, controlling, petty, immature, self-centered, egotistical, deceptive, manipulative. And eventually those next people will end up, for a long time, they might defend the person because they don't want that person to leave, and they don't want to have to find a new employee if it's a job. They don't want to have to go find a new friend, a new romantic relationship. So people can defend them for a long time. But eventually the high vibe people listen to their intuition. They're like, wait a minute. I thought this was about love, and I thought this was about justice and fairness and, bringing this dream into reality. And I don't know, you seem to be defensive to that. Some of those people could be having the next relationship that they got into could be coming to an end because they tried to manipulate someone who has hope and faith and belief in love again. Now, if they go get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, regardless of who they get in a relationship with, they're probably going to try to confuse them about the truth of who they are, and confuse them about the truth, maybe about why some other relationships ended, so that people would get in a relationship with them. Might be more because it's good for their ego or their image in some way, they think, anyway. Makes them look victorious. Looks like they've moved on. Looks like they got a new job. They got a new friend. They got a new boyfriend, girlfriend. Maybe they didn't want to hold themselves accountable in the last relationship they were in. And odds are in the next relationship, they're not going to want to hold themselves accountable either. But if they get in a relationship with someone else who doesn't require a more just and fair relationship, who hasn't learned to love themselves and hasn't learned to stand up for themselves and doesn't want to deal with the truth, is willing to stay in the relationship just to either be in a relationship or because it looks victorious or successful in some way in the world, they could stay in that relationship forever. And that would be a just and fair relationship for them. Two people who don't maybe want to do love, don't want to speak the truth, aren't more just and fair and balanced within themselves, and are at the same place in life, view life the same way, motivated and inspired by some of the same things. And if at some point in time, if they're willing to do that work together, if it's, and they both do this work together, then they both move to the next stage of life together. Sometimes people are just, we can get along with people in a relationship for a long time because with the Seven of Swords, we first get in a relationship with the one sword, kind of like, I think I could get in a relationship with you. I think I would like to be in a relationship with you. And then we have all these things to work through, and are we still on the same page? Yep, we're still on the same page about those things. We have all these different aspects of ourselves that we kind of have to work through in kind of being compatible with people. Sometimes it gets down to those last three swords in this scenario. From the Seven of Swords, it's the last three. Well, the last three can be, what is my truth? Do I believe in love? Do I like to kind of more use my emotions manipulatively? some real core foundational levels that can be harder to overcome. And sometimes we don't complete a cycle. 10 would be completing a cycle, and then we all go to the next phase. We all work through something, we work through everything. We completed a whole cycle of learning lessons together, and we all go to the next phase of life because we've all worked through some core issues at the very end. And we can be in relationships for quite a while working on the first 7, but then it's those last 3 that can be, they're kind of challenging all along the way of the relationship. But sometimes maybe it would be to get out of their pride and ego. Maybe it would be to quit kind of juggling and they have to really pick a path. Because I think when people are in the 7 of Swords up in their head, what remains is the 3 of Cups in their heart. Do I want to work together cooperatively with you from love? Do I do love? Do I believe in love? Don't I believe in love? Do I love you? Do you love me? And it can be those last 3 that kind of people really got to get through. And that can be when a relationship ends for some people. For the people that are working through it, and the people in our life that keep working together with us in friendships, workplaces, and all that good stuff, everybody is willing to work together for the bigger picture, and everybody takes responsibility within themselves to kind of not get manipulated by their fear and their ego, and that we've all learned lessons in the past that if I act bossy or controlling or am hurtful or unkind, or if I'm deceptive or manipulative in some way, that isn't going to turn out well. And then they look at, why would I even be tempted to do that? What is it within me that makes me defensive? And they each have to work through that within themselves, and everybody each has to hold themselves accountable. And then people work through those last 3. Like, I do love you, and I do enjoy your company, and I do want you in my life long term, or, I don't want to let go of this job, this friendship, this relationship. And then people move forward, and that's what some people are doing now, is defending a relationship that they want to keep investing in, because they know if they don't, they would miss an opportunity in love. And they're standing up and defending those relationships in their life. And if they have other people in the world who might want to have a new beginning with them, some of those people are like, oh, sorry, I kind of did all this thought process within myself about the people I'm in relationship with, and I could get in a relationship with someone else, but I wouldn't be being truthful with myself. I would be operating out of ego. And I don't want to do that, so I'm going to defend the people that I am in relationship with, and I'm going to keep moving forward with those people and continuing to work things out with those people, which is good. Those people should do that. The people that are shadowy in the world, who do like to manipulate people, kind of got some lessons to learn about what it means to be in a relationship, and they're kind of defensive anyway. They could be kind of egotistical and self-centered and kind of think the scales should be tipped more in their favor, maybe constantly in a relationship. Those people want people to keep standing up and defending them. And if the people in their life right now seem to be defensive to them, and they're not willing to keep investing in these people that harness this energy in a shadowy way, where they don't really do love, they could be kind of emotionally cold and detached, and if they say something's just and fair, you're supposed to think it's just and fair. And they have some high vibe people in their life saying, I have been trying to get along with you. I have been trying to work with you. And for a long time, I was kind of defensive to listening to my intuition about you, because I didn't want to have to even get to the point where I really kind of got to stand up for myself against you. Why can't you just work together with me more cooperatively? And that's when eventually we just can't stay in denial of the truth anymore. And we do stand up for ourselves. And it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. If that's how your idea of life and relationships and friendships or workplaces, you have this idea, that's just and fair. You're going to have to go find someone else because I'm not moving forward with you. And that would make those people mad because they're used to being able to maybe manipulate and control people. You're supposed to love me. Yeah. And that's how everybody can have these weird ideas of what it means to be in a relationship. Maybe these people, some of these shadowy people are used to people indulging them in these kind of shadowy traits and characteristics or ways of being. Well, people like are supposed to want to love me and indulge me. And that's kind of what I'm used to. I've had other people who kind of indulge me. Why aren't you indulging me? It's like, well, you should have held on to those people and you should have not been deceptive and manipulative with those people. If you had someone in your past that was willing to kind of indulge some of these shadowy ways or more of your shadowy ways of being than some other people, you made a big mistake not holding on to those people and trying to work things out with those people. Probably like if we knew people when we were young and we know a lot more about them than other people who just get to know them, we could extend a lot more grace to them in a way. And then they try to meet new people, and some new people are like, this person has some traits and characteristics that I find annoying. And people who have known them a lot longer in their life could extend them a lot more grace just because we're more familiar with them and their background and maybe their personality or whatever. And, but those people keep acting kind of in those shadowy ways, even with people who've known them for a really long time. Eventually those people are going to be like, I'm just tired of your shit, And then these people are like, so in a way, when we indulge people in their poor behavior, it's a disservice to ourselves and it's a disservice to them because it's not. People who are enabled in poor behavior have no incentive to change. And some people have been indulging some people. And some people now are like, yeah, I'm not moving forward with you in this energy anymore. If you're defensive to love, you can't make up your mind. There's some people, they're like, oh, I think I do want to make my life about love, and they go get in a relationship with loving people, and then it's like, I don't know. I'm not, those people maybe do require me to be more self-disciplined and just and fair, and I kind of like to indulge in my ego and these things of the world, and I kind of like to hang out with some people who are like that. So then they let that relationship go. They go hang out with some people where it's more about ego and image and things like that. And then they're with those people, but then, those people aren't as loving, maybe as warm and supportive and encouraging. So then it's like, now I want to go back to the other people. And it's just, some people constantly go back and forth, and it's like, and some people already know that about some people too. You can't decide what your truth is. Well, I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm not one of the people to juggle. So if you're someone who likes to juggle, you're going to have to find a new person to try to go back and forth with someone else or your family or your friend group or whoever the other person or party is, it's not going to be me, So let's go see what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Cancer energy. They are standing up to people in their life who they think are defensive, maybe more worldly focused, not communicating the truth, not being just and fair, not being loving, that they might think have illusions about what it means to be in a friendship or a relationship or a healthy work environment. What's coming up for those people that they might not see coming? The Nine of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. And the reason is because of the Queen of Swords. So it's just kind of interesting. So the Nine of Swords is Gemini energy, which is a dualistic sign about what my truth is. You know, and our shadow nature wants us to live our life living from our shadow nature. Let's go live our life from our pride and our ego and our fear and our insecurity. And we've been betrayed. Let's go invest in those things in the world that we want to look like a shining star. And our high vibe nature of Gemini is like, let's look at life from a higher perspective. Put things in perspective. Let's not be impulsive and rash. You know, we have a dream we want to bring into reality, and we want to bring it in. We want it to be what we dreamed of. So we have to emotionally learn lessons in life and invest in letting truth and love be the guiding factor for the decisions we make. And we want to be in relationships and workplaces and friendships with other people who that is their truth. We all have this dualistic nature. One aspect of ourselves, our more high vibe, loving, intuitive nature, or our more worldly, ego, self nature is in the driver's seat of our life. And high vibe people have learned lessons in life that my aspect of self, I also view the King of Pentacles as Capricorn energy, shadowy Capricorn represented by the devil. We all, in our Capricorn nature, have to free ourselves from our more immature worldly nature. We have to get out of our ego and deal with our past pain and heartbreak, learn lessons in life, and that way we're a much more stable, grounded, emotionally mature person, and we look at life from a higher perspective. And there's some people in the world that don't do that. They are always giving in to their more immature, prideful, impulsive, lazy, indulgent, or self-centered, or materialistic, or whatever ways of living life. And they have some lessons to learn that some of the high vibe people, they haven't learned some of the lessons that some of the high vibe people have learned. And we, in relationship to other people, we're maybe not as bold and brave and confident and all those things as other people in the world. But just us kind of in relationship to some other people in the world, we could have learned some lessons that some other people haven't learned. You know, we could have felt betrayed. But, you know, the whole thing is, did we listen to our intuition? Were there things about that relationship, maybe even at the very beginning? They were like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if this person's really on the same page as us. I don't know. This person maybe seems to keep their emotions buried beneath the surface. Or this person seems to kind of be defensive to love a little bit. Or this person seems to maybe, you know, we can all, in our more naive, gullible state, keep thinking, oh, I'm sure they'll change. I'm sure they'll open up. They'll become a different person than they are. And then we learn lessons in life and we learn to listen to our intuition. That also can be the Queen of Swords. The Queens can talk about how we think and feel. The Kings can represent how we're presenting ourselves in the world and how we're taking action in the world. Because we can all, it's considered masculine energy when we take action in the world, and we can present ourselves any way we want. What's the truth of how we think and feel? Which is represented by the feminine figures. So, you know, we have lessons to learn about listening to our intuition. I think our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate in this world because there's a veil, you know. People can present themselves a lot of different ways, and that's not the truth of who they are. Some people are deceptive, manipulative people. And if we really hadn't dealt with some people that we thought were like that, you know, before we can maybe get our divine inheritance, we had to know that people are like that in the world, and we need to know how they work and operate, or they can be the people who come and scam us later when we're further along in our life, and God's given us our divine inheritance, and we're like, oh no, these are perfect, wonderful, loving people, because we haven't learned to listen to our intuition. So we've got these lessons to learn in life. Some people have learned more of those lessons than some other people. But you're definitely standing up for yourself and you and other people in the world to some people in their life that are trying to manipulate and control them, get them up in their head, get them up in their ego, get them in their defensive energy by, instilling fear like, oh, you shouldn't trust those people. You should align with us. And some of those people don't want to see the truth about themselves and some other people in their life. And, we're ready to deal with the truth when we're ready to deal with the truth. And sometimes we can get in relationships with people and they have these people that manipulate them or these things that manipulate them. And then they want us to let those things manipulate us. And even if one of their things could be an addiction, well, you love me and I have this addiction, you're supposed to let the addiction be like a third party in our life. And it's like, no, that is a third party in your life. Mine is truth and love. So I'm going to let you make your life about whatever these things are, and people or the world or ego or money or whatever it is that's more important to you than love. I've seen the truth that love isn't like the guiding factor in your life, and truth and justice is kind of more about something else. So I'm going to let you go enjoy those people. So what's coming up? And I think as you high vibe people are moving forward, there's going to be other people who are going to, the King of Pentacles can mean jobs, friendships, relationships, family dynamics, marriages. There's going to be other people who are going to align with you and stand up for you and defend you because they know the truth of who you are. You're not creating an illusion. You're not trying to manipulate people. You're not trying to tempt people in their more worldly based nature. You're being truthful and honest, just and fair and emotionally mature. And there are going to be a lot of people who'd like to get out of the relationships with people that are like that and people they've known to be in a relationship with someone like you. But they need to stand up to their own shadow nature and fear that can manipulate them. And then the people in their life, if that's friends, if it's family, if they are in a romantic relationship where, not like you communicated your truth, not trying to get someone out of a relationship, but if you communicated your truth to someone and they have these different people that they align themselves with, it would require them just to speak their truth. And for some people, they're not willing to do that. I have a certain ego or image. All these different reasons why people maybe won't get in a relationship with someone else. But, so if people aren't speaking their truth and offering us love to work together with us, we let those people go. We work with the people in our life who are willing to work together with us in that way. What's coming up for the more worldly or shadowy people who harness shadowy or worldly Cancer energy that they might not see coming? The Ten of Cups and the Five of Wands because of the King of Wands. Well, for one thing, the people that have been trying to kind of manipulate and control people or have been acting in these kind of shadowy ways of being, they're shocked that some of the high vibe people in their life have been inspired to stand up for themselves and defend wanting to be happy. And they've changed. They're not the same people that they were before. Probably because they did this work within themselves to work through their own issues of the past, their own fears, insecurities, self-limiting beliefs, and they were inspired to do the work within themselves and hold themselves accountable. And then it was to offer people truth and love. Is this how you want to move forward? But some of the people in their life are like, you've changed, Who the hell are you? No, I'm not going to do that. And some of the people are like, that's fine. I'm inspired to be happy. I've changed. And those people are going to move forward and distance themselves from these people. And they didn't see that coming. And they might be getting in relationships with other people that they could have this long-term, emotionally fulfilling relationship with. Other people who were inspired to change. You know, we can try to change other people, and then it's kind of like, why am I trying to change other people? The only person I can change is me. And then I'm going to go find other people who changed. Other people who grew up and healed and matured themselves and look at life from a higher perspective, are just and fair and truthful and honest and loving. I'm going to go move forward with those people. And some of the shadowy people never saw that coming. Another thing they might not see coming is there's going to be other people in the world that will be willing to probably get in a relationship with these people. And it might be because they're have a lot of inner conflict, or they align with their more egoic, worldly nature. That is also what they're inspired by. And they could get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. And that would be a just and fair relationship. Do you kind of try to manipulate people? Are you kind of bossy? Do you kind of have some stuff that you keep hidden beneath the surface that you don't want to deal with? Do you like to keep repeating these old patterns of relationship and we never really resolve it so we can change and move forward? Perfect. Me neither. Do you not look at life from a higher perspective? Perfect. Me neither. Is your truth all about the world or you or indulgence or ego or image? Perfect. Me too. Are you defensive to the truth that there is a higher purpose to life? You are too. Perfect. Let's get in a relationship. Let's stay in a relationship. I have found my soulmate. You know? And if they both view life the same way and they both are motivated and inspired by the same things, I just think what they didn't see coming is that maybe by worldly standards it looks victorious and successful. Like they've gotten these things of the world that people want. I just think they're going to have a lot of inner conflict because it's not based on truth and love. Well, this person lets me control them, or I let them control me. In a shadowy relationship, I think it's kind of more where if it's not truth and love and just and fair, someone's indulging someone, or maybe they go back and forth indulging each other. But it's kind of like, who gets to be the bossy controlling one this week? Who gets to be the more bossy controlling one next week? Who's being the person who, it's like a tit for tat relationship, like scorekeeping. Well, I did that. Well, I'm not going to do that for you because you didn't do that for me. People aren't just freely giving of themselves from love because they have this illusion about relationships and they have a lot of inner conflict and they could be very competitive and kind of like things the way they like things. And kind of unwilling to compromise. So it could look good by worldly standards. And for some people, we all repeat certain patterns because it is kind of in our comfort zone. And for some people, that is their comfort zone. Oh, does the person have an addiction? I swore when I grew up I was never going to get in a relationship that had that addiction. And there I back am in a relationship with someone who has that addiction. Why do we do that? We know how to work with those people. Been there, done that. People who treat me with love and respect, that's like weird. I don't know how to do that. That's like out of my comfort zone. And so we can repeat, or people being bossy, people being controlling, people being manipulative, people being kind of superficial, shallow, and stuff. Those can all be people's comfort zones. And until we repeat it enough where it's just like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. That's when we stand up for ourselves. And sometimes some people are like, I'm not repeating that pattern anymore. I realize the pattern's repeating here. I've already lived that life pattern of relationship, not doing it anymore. And some people have stood up to a lot more things in their life than some other people have stood up for in their life. I mean, hopefully they'll stand up for themselves. Sometimes people have to repeat that past pattern because they weren't dealing with an issue that needed to be dealt with, kind of buried in their subconscious of their foundation, and it still manipulates them. And almost until they can repeat that pattern and play out the pattern to its completion, the problem is some of these people have had many opportunities to work through this issue. But when they get to the Seven of Swords, it gets to that last 3 swords to complete the cycle, and they turn back and get defensive. No, I will not see the truth about the 3 of Cups. I will not see the truth about these things about me. I will not see the truth about these people that I love. But they could keep hanging out with people who are manipulative, deceptive, controlling, bossy, and they just don't want to see the truth of it. And they could keep repeating that cycle all their life. That's why we can't wait forever, because it takes a long time to learn lessons. It takes a long time. We all know the things that we went through in life when we felt ready to stand up for some things in our life. That can take years. It can take decades, you know? And so we wish high vibe people, it's like, you know, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. And that's the 2 of Swords, or the 2 of Pentacles. I'm picking up my investment in what I had been invested in, and now I'm maintaining balance within myself. Looking for the next thing that I'm going to invest in, the next job, the next friend, the next romantic relationship. And some of you already have had that new beginning. Some of you will have that new beginning in work or friendship or relationship. And I think you'll have, you know, these things that are aligned with your truth. And some of the other people who are trying to look like they have that in the world too, they're probably going to be in competitive energy about you because they know they didn't offer truth and love to get what they have. They know that they were not being truthful and honest, that they were being deceptive and manipulative, and they're going to be defensive in their relationship, waiting for the people in their life to see the truth about what manipulates these people, that they're not more emotionally mature and nurturing and balanced and loving. So while they're being defensive in their relationship, just waiting for the truth to be revealed, the other people don't have to fear the truth because they're acting in truth and love. So there you go, Cancer energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.